as a bridge.
Backstage with the J Blues. The show most watched by SLED, Lexington County Major Crimes Unit, and Town of Lexington Police Department. And now the one you have been waiting for, the scourge of the music industry, the Vince McMahon of the blues. You can block him, but you just can't stop him from getting through. The one, the only, a J Blues.
All right, yeah, we're back. Apparently we're doing part 2 of the broadcast. Somebody got into Ustream and interrupted the recording. How about that? We were just talking about people being in my stuff, and somebody went in my stuff again. Okay, and we're not running anything else that could interfere, because I've been working on this thing tonight, getting it ready, and making sure, so I know there's nothing on this end causing the problem. So, who can it be knocking at my door? Well, it's either somebody with, it's got to be one of two things. It's either government or not, or somebody with that access, That's the only explanation I can come up with at the moment for some of this stuff. Some of this other stuff, with the phones and everything else, I'm pretty sure that's kids. I see Gene is doing his thing. But any event, we're just going to have to merge the two together, I reckon. See what we can get done. Let's see. We're going to go into, I don't know if we're going to call him or not. Kind of early. I usually call Gene a little later in the hour. Tell you what. Here's a little something to go along with what we talked about earlier. And I know it's just going to tick some people off. But late, great Jeff Norwood, good friend of mine, and one of my favorite songs of his.
This is rough as sandpaper, but that's what it is. That's what we like. Paying taxes for folk too. Goddamn South Carolina. Goddamn South Carolina. Well, the government can all go to hell, long as you are all doing well. Riding around in your SUVs, you ought to be in shirts and strapped up sleeves. Goddamn South Carolina. Goddamn South Carolina. Don't feel bad when they play you for a fool. Hey, like you had a chance to learn much at school. All your lawyers, politicians, and preachers. Yeah, ought to be put down, let's get some teachers. stuff you do. Undermines the Constitution you all swore to. Goddamn South Carolina. Coming in on 95, see the both at welcome signs. Wonder what paid for that, and you worry about poor folks getting fat. Goddamn South Carolina. Federal troops need to come back down, burn this motherfucker down. And you say, what good would that do? Since you had to start anew, had to simple in a different place. Slavery should be some minimum wage. Goddamn South Carolina. 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 Hide yourself in a different place, 'cause the minimum wage is still the same as slaves. Goddamn South Carolina. Goddamn South Carolina. Goddamn South Carolina.
Hi, that's Jeff Norwood for you on Backstage with AJ Blues with a little GDSC. And, since we got interrupted, and that seems to be a thing, part 1 is uploading. We're in part 2 now. But as we referred to in part 1, this whole trespass situation that the town of Lexington had sent me was illegal. We said it was illegal. Everybody knew it was illegal. Even the town of Lexington knew it was illegal, and they did it anyway. And they're supposedly notifying everybody that, yes, we know they know that it's illegal, and they're supposed to be removing this restriction to where I can go to functions once again or go to the town hall without incident. Of course, we know they're probably going to try to cause an incident. But, but my question is, how, if you admit that you can't do that, and you did it anyway, then who is the governing factor that handles that? Who slaps them on not slaps on the wrist, but who does anything towards them for that? It can't just continue to fall on me to keep having to defend, offend. When you guys are coming after me all the time for nothing, without even checking the facts on anything, and you're coming after me for things that I did not do. Once again, something else that I did not do that's stated in this letter, and then of course the letter was illegal anyway. So where is who takes care of that? Where's the police department in this? Where's the sheriff's department in this? They all had copy to this. They were all involved in this. So that's my question. It's just, I want you to think about it. Seriously, when you got that many people involved, who goes after them? I don't know. I just don't know. I'm looking to you to give me a response here.
Even if it's over and
Here's a little lefty at the washout for you on Backstage with AJ Blues.
I made a mistake, but I'm dealing with these problems, these choices that I made. I can't deny I'm missing you, I can't turn away. I can't forget the good times through the course of our stay. Even if it's over and it's done, even if it's over, I never stop believing you're the one. Come on, come on, come on. Wait a minute, hold on a little longer, 'cause you know we've been caught now. Could you hold on, hold on, and stay now? Could it be that we're falling down? Well, you know we've been caught at the crossroads. Come on, baby, hold on. Though many days past, I know how lives have changed. When I see your face, these butterflies remain the same. Are you feeling this way? Who knows where we're going? Life is so strange. Every day that passes now, all I see is your name. Could it be we're destined? Are we walking our way? Even though it's over and it's done, is it really over? I never stop believing you're the one. Come on, come on, come on. Wait a minute, hold on a little longer, 'cause you know we've been caught now. Could you hold on, and stay now? Could it be that we're falling down? Well, you know we've been caught at the crossroads. Come on, baby, hold on. Come on, baby, hold on a little longer now. Wait a minute, hold on a little longer, 'cause you know we've been caught now. Could you hold on, and stay now? Could it be that we're falling down? Well, you know we've been caught at the crossroads. Come on, baby, hold on. Even if it's over and it's done, even if it's over, I never stop believing you're the one. Come on, come on, come on. Wait a minute, hold on a little longer, 'cause you know we've been caught now. Could you hold on, and stay now? Could it be that we're falling down? Well, you know we've been caught at the crossroads. Come on, baby, hold on.
All right, you are listening to Backstage with AJ Blues on this Sunday evening, 7:19 p.m. And here's some Outshine for you. This one's called Dead by Blonde.
The midnight sun sets on the strip. I think that's beautiful. I have not closed my eyes for days. Once again, I'm
You're listening to Backstage with AJ Blues. Here's Kickback for you. This one's called Pistol.
Well, Amy's got a pistol and she's mad as hell. And she's got a story she's been dying to tell. And she's got a secret she don't wanna keep. And she's got this pain that flows real deep. Well, she's got a pistol, mad as hell. She's got a story she's been dying to tell. She's got a secret and feels that pain. She's gonna make you feel that blame when the pistol bang. She got into a car and she drove it into town. She spotted Mr. Tommy within the crowd. She said, there's no way you're gonna hurt me now. She pulled out that pistol, next thing you know, he was on the ground. She's got a pistol, mad as hell. She's got a story she's been dying to tell. She's got a secret and feels that pain. Well, she's gonna make you feel that blame. She's got a pistol, mad as hell. She's got a story she's been dying to tell. It's got a secret and feels that pain. Well, she's gonna make you feel that blame with a pistol bang.
Alright, that was Kickback for you on Backstage with AJ Blues. I almost gave you a twofer on it. We're gonna slide on over to the lines here. We got the Point on hold, and or we're on hold. We're both on hold. Anyway, and of course that one caller they have with the bad phone.
I was running against Jake.
There we go.
And by God's grace, I mean, I would say that the news media, the state newspaper, I got the same amount of respect and dignity. And I will tell you one thing. And in fact, I laughed about this, but don't laugh. I did it. This is the reason why I did this, was exactly what you said. I wasn't about to let Jakey Knott have his name on that ballot and then nobody to vote for. Mm-hmm. And I didn't spend, I want you to know, I had $100 donated to me. Uh-huh. And think about this. I only had like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was known for the water issue, and it was so funny. I spent $100 and I got about 1% of the vote.
Uh-huh.
And I laughed about it. But I didn't laugh at it, but I thought to myself, isn't that amazing? Jakey spent a couple $100,000,
uh-huh,
and I only spent $100, and I got about 1%. I'm fiscally responsible, but the greatest thing was I had a little elderly man in my neighborhood that walked up to me and shook my hand, and he said, Brenda, I want you to know I cast my vote for you.
Oh, that is great. That really is great.
So here's the key to it. If you're dissatisfied and you don't like who's in there, step in there and run yourself.
It takes a lot. That's a lot. An average person doesn't have that amount of courage. But and I would encourage, if you don't have a opinion, don't vote. I mean, go to the polling place and vote for the people that you do have an opinion about. But if you feel like, oh, well, that name sounds nice, that means skip that. You're not prepared enough to vote for that. All right, I got to run, Brenda. All right.
I want to know you. I thank you so much, and you are a fantastic radio host. I enjoy your show, and I have been referring others to listen to you.
All right, very good.
I love you.
All right, thanks so much. Hey, caller, how are you?
Oh, my goodness. You are just super awesome.
Oh, my goodness. It's like magic. It's like magic.
She talks about you talk about not the average person running, and then not the average person calls.
That's right. You're absolutely not the average person. I think you're better than famous. You're infamous. So we have AJ Blues on the line, and, we're talking about things sort of bigger than just Lexington County politics, but that is its own world. And I want to tell you, and I throw this out to the whole audience. Remember the Lexington Ring? What happened with that? Remember? Was Sheriff
I think the Hobbit threw it in the volcano.
It must be. It must be but I remember stories of murder, stories of prostitution. Stories of murder's pretty big on my scale of stuff. I remember the hints for things coming out of statewide law enforcement channels of big things, and nothing happened. So if you forgot, I didn't forget. Think about it. We're going to jump to a quick break, bottom of the hour news. We'll have AJ on, and we'll talk a little bit more about this primary. All right. Look, like magic. Like magic. I'm going to run, put some ice in my drink. And that means just what I'm going to do. I only have hot drinks, so I'm going to run get some ice. I'll be right back.
Attention, everyone.
Your local favorites are on now. Backstage with AJ Blues. As you heard, we're taking a moment. And, this part 2 is probably going to be screwed up on YouTube when it gets there. I got a feeling. Hooked on that feeling. I don't believe it. Anyway, let's see. In the meantime, how do we kill a little time? Well, of course, we are flying the DeLorean Falcon after all. So we must share the flag.
WDLN DeLorean Radio is on now. Serving Columbia, St. Andrews, Irmo, and Lexington.
All right, in the rumor mill, they're actually talking about a Back to the Future 4, but, they're always talking about that. Everybody's been talking about it. Whether or not we're going to see it is a different story. So, hey, be sure to let us know what you think. I'm die-hard Back to the Future fan anyway, so I hated when the DeLorean was destroyed. It was just so sad. Gene has left us with dead air. He doesn't normally do that. Normally he lets us hear a little something going on there, so I'm barely hearing something.
All right, look, I'm back. Like magic.
Oh, I hear him.
Hey, Birdman is on.
Wow, he must be invisible now.
All right, you're listening to AmericasRadioShow.com, and you can go there, Americas, plural, radioshow.com, no spaces, only the dot and the com, and you can be part of the program by calling 803-799-8255. And I know I say 803. I think that's an antiquated pre-internet way of saying things, but it's really 803. If you use the O, if you're dialing from a keyboard, it doesn't work that well. And we've got AJ Blues on the line, talking with him. I support my support for these political characters is a little bit different from our friend Brenda's. I support, in this primary election, Henry McMaster. Henry McMaster, and the reason I do is twofold. Is as a governor, I really don't want a governor to do much. And I think he's a smart guy, and not like a super genius, dark matter physicist, but I think he's a pretty bright guy. And I think he is he's a good-natured caretaker. And that's what I want. I want somebody when the executive, we have a very weak governor on purpose because we decried the power of the king so much that we gave the governor essentially no power. But in those times when the governor has power, these emergency things, I want a conscientious, good, and good-natured caretaker to guide us through the hurricane, to guide us through the disaster, to guide us through the civil unrest. That's what I want. And I really like the idea, especially with this president, that there's a relationship between our governor and the president that is strong enough that the president will take the call. And I know it's all about access, and that's the job of the chief of staff, but I believe that there is a special link between our current governor and our current president, and I think that works to our advantage. And I'm sure the other people are good, relatively good. I've heard things about Catherine Templeton that would, in my mind, disqualify her as chief executive. I don't like that she came on as a consultant, basically doing the job that she was head of the department head of DHEC for much more money. I don't think that embodies the respect of the taxpayer that I require. And Warren, he seems to be a pretty smart, good guy too. But I'm throwing my lot in with Henry McMaster because I believe that he is an agreeable, affable caretaker, and that as Attorney General and as head of the Republican State Party for many, many moons, he has the ability to access the levers of power. And so that I'm going to give you my, only on 2 elections, I'll give you my call on that one. And of course, I'm supporting Nelson Ferber for Secretary of State. And the other 2 guys, other people running for Secretary of State are nice enough people. I just believe that Nelson Ferber is the guy that has what it takes to get it done and will make over the office in a good way. And we're talking to AJ Blue. So, hey, AJ, what's going on?
Hey, yeah. Is it McMaster or Mixmaster? I get confused sometimes.
I call him Henry McMaster frequently, but it's McMaster.
Because he does put a mix on a few things. I'll give him that.
Well, I'll tell you what. He's the only statewide elected official that has used the word "dat" in a television ad.
Dat?
That is what my job is.
That is it.
That is it.
You know,
so,
I would like
somebody that's that comfortable. Somebody that's that comfortable in their skin.
I would love to invite him over here and let him guide me through out of this corruption that I've been fighting.
Well, I tell you what. I think I used to believe that where I lived, Richland County, was the hotbed of corruption, and that you people on the other side of the river, you people on the other side of the river. We're sort of living in pristine wilderness, and through hard work and all these other things, you have hewn out a civilization with good Lutheran values and a handful of long-standing families that were really making a difference, and that you people, us people, the shining suburbs on the hill, and that you were doing everything right. And then I found out you're just as corrupt as Richland County.
Hell, we may be more corrupt over here.
Well, maybe. And so many of your folks are, and this is not it's not like a hillbilly type thing, but so many of your folks are related. That this family and that family, and the 5
might be some of that. Might be some of that inbreeding going on.
But no, there might be 10 major families in Lexington County, and ones with good reputations and work ethics and things like that. And
there's
that
families.
might be part of the issue too.
There's families that have good reputations in Lexington County.
Yeah, there are, and I'm not going to get into them because I don't want them calling me up.
No. I'm just joking, everybody.
But I actually, this is not a radio put on or anything like that. I actually thought that Lexington County was so much better than Richland County on the corruption, on the good law enforcement, on all these different things. It doesn't appear that way.
I wonder, do you think the governor's listening? Because I would hope that he's listening. I would love to ask the governor a question. And I'll ask you, too, because you're smart enough. You're smart enough.
Well, I don't say that he's listening, but I know there's somebody in his office that listens.
Okay, well, that would be great, because, we've talked about some of the stuff I've had to deal with. Now, this week, we released a few things, and some other things came about. Like this trespass letter from the town of Lexington over something that they don't really say what. This says something about behavior over the past 18 months, which,
Well, here's a question. What kind of political subdivision can say, you can't be here, you're trespassing?
Well, this is the actual town properties that they were wanting to put me on trespass in March. They sent this out. And,
it would be different if you'd had like a fight at the jail.
Yeah.
So, we don't want you in our jail. You come here again, we're going to trespass you.
But,
or if you've had a fight in the free clinic or something, we don't want you in here. We're going to trespass you if you ever come here again.
But you read this and this is not legal. You read this, it's not legal. You know that it's a public place. And they even give you all these little things that you're supposed to do if you need help from the police or if you need to deal with the clerk of court. And they try to tell you have to go through channels, otherwise you could be arrested. This is a ridiculous letter.
It's so ridiculous. You need to find out who the town attorney is.
Oh, no. We're ahead of you. I'm just catching you up. This has already been discussed. My attorneys got in touch with them a while back, and they were waiting on the town attorney. It wasn't Kuhn; it was the other one. And finally, this week, they said, okay, yeah, we knew we couldn't do that. We know we can't do that. And this is a letter that's copied to Sheriff Kuhn as well as the chief of police of the town of Lexington, Terrence Green. And you would think, with all these people involved that are supposed to uphold the law and know the law, or supposedly know the law, that they would recognize this as illegal. Now, my real question is, now that they know this, and I'm waiting on them to send me a letter stating that confirming this, that I will not be hassled with any incident if I set foot on, town of Lexington property.
Well, you'd think people be smarter than that.
If you know that it was illegal and you couldn't do it, and you did it anyway.
Why would you do it?
Okay, so who governs that action? Clearly it's not up to me to have to go and arrest them. This is a whole organization.
No, I think, if an attorney drafted that letter, that maybe your attorney needs to write a...
Well, this letter was...
Write a letter to the Supreme Court about the competence to serve.
This letter was signed by Britt Poole, the town administrator of the town of Lexington. And like I said, it was copied
on
all
his
people.
own? I'm serious. Do you think he did it on his own?
No,
this is what I want to do?
Of course not.
No, we don't know. Of course not. The people do weird stuff.
Yeah, he refers to the law section, here in it, and the code. So he does this, but it's illegal.
Well, there are a lot of smart attorneys in Lexington County. Why don't any of them work for government?
So I ask anyone listening out there too. Who takes care of the actions whenever they're the ones breaking the law and they're doing something like this? And then they admit it and say, oh, okay, well, we'll make it right. Well, that's not right to me,
Well, how about all those days that you were denied access to your whatever things you want to do in the city of Lexington?
Well, I got bands that play over the amphitheater, the Ice House Amphitheater.
That affects your business. So
yes.
This is just crazy. This whole thing is crazy. that's just wild and bizarre. But really, on the larger issue, in a lot of these things have come up because of your involvement, and I know you're a radio guy, and I know you're a fun person and a good person. I really thought that I was living in the land of corruption, that I was living in the land of crony capitalism, that I was living in the land of all these problems. But just I guess what really blew it for me was when low-tax Lexington. I remember all the tax nuts, all the good United We Stand tax nuts were based in Lexington. But when y'all got the baseball team to move to Lexington and you built them a stadium, I was like, oh, they've jumped the shark.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's there's just a lot of things going on behind the scenes over here that we don't know about. Some of us that do know about it, we're not, they don't want us talking, and whenever we find out. But I set a trap.
When you,
I set a trap this week, and
okay.
Now.
All right, hold on, AJ. Hold on. We'll be right back after that. This is Gene Garris. Got AJ Blues on the line here. Got to take a quick break. And be right back. And then, gosh, we're running out the clock for these 2 hours.
And be sure to call that phone line. Let's see what we got over here.
Hey, Birdman. Hey, Crawdaddy. Angela, of course. Man, am I drinking this horrible stuff. Man, it's tasty. Question to the internet, folks. Can you hear AJ well? Is the phone stuff working well? Gosh, I wish I gave out prizes. I don't even know what this bumper is. I don't know what song this is cut up and then put together. This is Gene Garris. You're listening to AmericasRadioShow.com. You can be part of the program. We got AJ Blues on the line, 799-8255. That's 799-TALK on your telco thing, probably your cell phone now. And toll free. No, it's not toll free. You probably got a cell phone. It's free. 803-799-8255. And so tell me what else. Tell me about this trap, AJ.
All right. Well, we know people have been getting into my accounts and doing stuff, and we know law enforcement's in there too. So I set up a few things that you wouldn't really notice unless you really pay attention, because I've been putting out tons of public posts over the past few weeks, as you know, lots of funnies and with a little bit of political, and just going at it, and then a few rants. Now, some of these rants that I've released, you probably did not see them because it had a little padlock. You know about the little padlock on Facebook?
No, I don't know. Tell me about the padlock.
The padlock on Facebook. On your post, anything you post, it'll have the little globe there. It'll say for friends, or say only you. You can set that. And see, I did that.
Okay.
I did that to see if I got any bites. And sure enough, there was a complaint made to my attorney about some posts. So now I'm wondering if the complaint...
So you made a Facebook post...
that nobody can see.
Marked it, only you could see it. Like
only the administrator of the account can see it.
Which theoretically is you, and maybe anybody else that was able to pretend they were you.
Right.
And somebody took the bait.
Somebody took the bait, and they contacted my attorney. Now, here's the thing I want to know. Was it law enforcement by themselves complaining, or did they receive a complaint? Because if they received a complaint, I want that person's computer and everything else subpoenaed and checked.
Yeah, that's sort of an interesting thing. I never thought of. Goodness, in this weird position that you're put in, that you have to do this. This just drives me crazy to think about it. But what a mess. And thank God you're adaptable enough and smart enough that you can figure these things out. Thank God for that.
I still don't know whoever's doing it, but that was just one little trick.
Well, that definitely indicates that there's a thing.
Yeah.
And it, not that you need assurance, but that definitely indicates that there's something going on.
Yeah.
And goodness, I wish somebody on the other side, on the law enforcement side, would take an interest in your predicament and say, hey, well, we've got some technical services folks. Let's go see what we can do.
Hey, we got any listeners out there and help out? We'd greatly appreciate
smart
it.
People. I've met some of these people in person, and they're pretty smart folks. So if you know anything about computer forensics, if involvement with social media, involvement with the Book of Faces, the Twittersphere, all that stuff, give me a shout, 803-799-8255, and I'll hook you up with AJ, and we'll see what's going on. But that is just maddening, and this continues to go.
And, we got the announcement, too, about August 1st. Our partnership with Ustream will be over unless we spend the big bucks.
One more time.
Our partnership,
really loud.
Our partnership with Ustream, August 1st will be over. And, we've been there. We set that account up with you guys, and then we've been broadcasting full on it since 2011. So, I mean, we're just we're not going to we're probably going to end it before the 1st of August, though.
Well, I think what you should do, and I encourage you to do this, is to go ahead and do it on the YouTube. Go ahead and record it, or do YouTube Live, or these Facebook Hangout, these Google Hangouts Live. Go ahead and work that angle. Because,
we really liked having the live audience, though, and the interaction. I mean, that's something.
Well, I think you can do that with the Google Hangouts. I think that is a live thing. So just investigate that. And I want to tell you, the funniest guy, the funniest gal that you ever had in your 3rd grade class, 5th grade class, whatever, that person was probably good enough to make something happen with them on the music scene or on the comedy scene or in Hollywood, but the gatekeepers kept them out. And the glory, the best thing I think about sharing this information, about being part of the information economy, about being your self-producer on the social media network, is it lowers the bar. You don't have to be discovered. You can put the funny video on, and that will be how you are discovered. You don't have to pay your dues and travel to all these scummy comedy clubs and these low-rent music venues and stuff. You can throw a video up on YouTube and become famous. The gatekeepers have always been the problem. The people keeping you out of the media, keeping you out of circulation, has always been the problem. And all you got to do is open the door a little bit, and the talent floods in. If you go to a place like Nashville, and you're walking around in the bar district on the street, you will hear people on the street that are 10 times better than anybody you've ever heard on the radio.
I mean, if you paid attention to any of the people that I've had on the air over the years, or the music that I've played, that's all local submissions here. I mean, the talent that we have had, and the people just waiting to be discovered, and some of them had their chances and they blew it. Some of them are still out there and still circulating, and it's really been. I'm very thankful for what all I have come across with this program. And
these other businesses talk about being a servant leader, and well, that's what you've been in this music thing. Think of all the people that got to hear that one song that changed their life or made them feel better about a situation from a band they'd never heard of because of you. A bunch of people, and there's no telling how much magnification you've given to people that wouldn't have gotten there any other way. So I want you to explore, look into these other platforms, look into these other live, whether it's YouTube Live or Google Hangouts Live. Look into these different ways to keep your product out there, because it's a good product.
Hey, I'll just take the 6 o'clock hour on Sundays.
You give Kevin a call and I'll work it out. Make it happen.
Of course, we wouldn't be able to play the whole songs and all, but we could probably set something up, I'm sure.
Yeah, we make it. Make something.
You know what else made this show a success? To where it probably would still work with the talk radio circuit, because everybody made a big deal about ASCAP BMI. Well, the thing is, I deal with original music, original artists. They give me permission to play it.
Right.
And then when it does get to that level, and every so often whenever I'm dealing with YouTube and crossing over, it'll say, hey, we got copyright on this. And I'm like, no, I got permission for this. And I tell them who and all that, and they go investigate it. And they're like, oh, okay, never mind. And then I'll upload it another one, and then I have the same song or same people. And once again, I'm doing the same process. but
that's great that there's an out, because so many of these things, these draconian rules and things, you got to strike against your account. Well, I didn't do anything bad, because I used to be a YouTube producer, a content producer, and I did some, it was very limited stuff, and I used garbages in less than 30 seconds, maybe 15 seconds of Shirley Manson being only happy when it rains. And the stuff got flagged, and I'm like, hey.
Well, she was really singing that she was only happy with Chris Raines, but that's a whole different.
That's right. It's all about you, AJ. It's all about you. And she's one of the. I think go use the power of Google and investigate Shirley Manson, lead singer of Garbage.
It's one of my favorite bands. One of the after I restored my '72 Dodge Demon and put a Sony cassette CD AM FM, and I had the changer in the trunk, and I had Garbage, their first CD, in there.
Well, that's great. That's great. I read that, and goodness, so many good songs. But if you go and look on, just Google Shirley Manson, and if you really want to just have a blast, Google Shirley Manson, and I'm trying to think the guy's name. Who's the Scottish late-night host that's no longer there?
Oh.
Well, anyway, just Google Shirley Manson, late night, Craig Ferguson. That's his name.
Yeah,
Craig Ferguson. Yeah. And just like Shirley Manson, Craig Ferguson, and just watch the back and forth. And it's truly funny. Really funny and awkward, but well worth it. And there's a lot of stuff like that when the gatekeepers are pulled out of the situation, that you just discover, and you're like, wow, that really is good.
And they even got some exposure on Nash Bridges too, I believe, with their music. So that was one good thing with Don Johnson too, because with Miami Vice, with Nash Bridges, he was all about getting music, real artists and all that involved, and bringing them in.
Well, I think it was Scorsese that started with the musical soundtrack for movies not being scored. So what he did was he said, hey, instead of paying some guy to score the complex mood of these movies, I'm just going to pick music I like and get the artist to sign off of it, and that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And so I think he was the first one to do that, and it really changed. And I'm trying to think of there was a movie that he made that was in limited release, and then we all know him from things like Goodfellas. But the soundtracks to those movies are just amazing.
But he had that. But as far as the on the TV series though, you gotta throw it back to Johnson on that, because that was a big changeover, because you had Knight Rider, you had Airwolf, you had all these shows that would be the Friday night thing, and of course, and I know you're a fan of the musicians doing the covers.
Yeah. I love it. Gosh, I love it, and I love. When somebody Scott Bradley and Postmodern Jukebox takes a song and deconstructs it and then throws it in a different way.
But he made the change whenever he brought original into it. The actual artist and all, and really getting into it.
I'll tell you what, we're running out of time here, AJ. And the truth of the matter is, there's real talent out there. It frequently goes underdiscovered. Now more of it discovered than ever. And had somebody on the Book of Faces said, "Do we have another hour?" No, we're done in just a moment, Birdman.
Tell Kevin, let's talk and do a local music show.
Well, I'll let you reach out to him. Goodness, thanks so much, AJ.
All right, thank you, Gene, and we're out of that. Let's get into some Whiskey Diary. Speaking of great bands that could have cut it, this one's called History on Backstage with AJ Blues.